Hey everyone, Dr. Amy Avalar with Acupuncture Practice Systems. When people hear that my clinic eventually grew to 13 treatment rooms and 24 employees, it seems like a lot of them imagine that growth happened overnight. Or they assume that I spend every possible waking moment on my business, and neither of those things is true. Now, my clinic did not go from me in one room by myself to 13 rooms and 24 employees overnight. It happened gradually over the past 18 years, and I was not working on growing the business 24/7. Actually, during that time, I completed my bachelor's in business, my master's degree in traditional Chinese medicine, and I got my doctorate in acupuncture and integrative medicine. So I also traveled a lot. I got married, I had 2 children, I took 2 maternity leaves, and I did still have a life outside of work. So my secret was basically consistently making decisions that made future growth easier to happen. I focused on building a strong foundation first, which is hugely important. I cannot stress that enough. I created systems. I focused on the patient's experience and the quality of my employees. I focused on retention and creating processes that could support growth as it happened. Now, there are usually multiple paths that you can use to get you where you want to be. Some paths are easier and some paths are harder. Some paths are going to cost you a lot more time and unnecessary stress and lots of money, but some paths actually create momentum. And a lot of business owners eventually reach their goals, but they have had to work significantly harder than others because of the choices that they made along the way. So one example of making better choices is building systems. Of course, you can wait until your business is chaos before you create the systems, or you can create systems as you grow to make future growth easier and to make chaos less likely. You can hire reactively every time that you're overwhelmed, or you can prepare for growth before you are in desperate need of help. You can make decisions that constantly force you to solve the same problem over and over, or you can solve the problem once and create a process that prevents it from happening again. When I look back at the growth of my clinic, it was not one gigantic breakthrough that made a difference for me. It was literally hundreds of small decisions that made the next step easier and easier for me. And that's really what scaling looked like for me. It wasn't a constant hustle. It was not working every single weekend, although there were weekends that I worked. I was not sacrificing every part of my personal life, although there was some sacrifice. I was just consistently building a stronger foundation and making decisions that supported future growth. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by the gap between where you are now and where you want your practice to be someday, my encouragement to you is keep the end goal in mind, but start with focusing on what is your next decision. So constantly be asking yourself, am I making choices that make future growth easier or harder? Because those small decisions will compound like crazy. If you would like to learn the systems, processes, and the lessons that helped me grow from a solo practitioner to a multi-provider clinic, those are exactly the type of resources that you will find inside the Clinical Architect membership. Until then, remember that growth does not happen overnight. Focus on building a strong foundation and make the hard decisions that will make growth easier for you in the future.